Days 24. Related party disclosure. What is this related party disclosure? The objective of the standard is to ensure that the entity's financial statement contains a disclosure necessary to draw attention to the possibility that financial position and the profit and loss may have been affected by the existence of related parties and by transaction and outstanding balances, including commitments with such parties. Hey, Vatra, I will say one thing. There are many persons in a company. Who are this considered person? The person can be directors, partners, data partners, suppliers, debtors, creditors. Many persons are there. So these persons may even hold stake in the company as stakeholder. Now, what if a person is holding stake in that company? That company is doing more business now. What the person intention will do? Sir, I holding 20%, 15% stake in this company. So the company is making more profit. So I will think so. Sir, I am the supplier of this company. When I am supplier of the company, this company is my company, and this company is making more profit. So what should the company should do? I'm providing some goods now. The market price is 100 rupees. So you give me at market price 105 rupees. They are asking 5 rupees extra. Not how much, 5 rupees extra they are charging. Oh, so what is this? Sir, it is okay, sir. His company, he is a shareholder. He need to get more profit. Okay. Is it fair? Is it fair? No, it's not fair because if the same goods is being procured from some other person, the company will not provide 5 rupees extra on that cost. So the profit will increase by 5 rupees on that goods to the end user. So the end user profit is being eaten by the related party. Sometimes company shareholder will approve it. Sometimes company won't approve it. So when these kind of transaction, if it has been happening, who should report? The management should be reporting that. And auditor should see that whether who are the related parties, who is providing any kind of details, and how this is affecting the profit. And is the shareholder is being recognized, shareholder has been informed about this kind of transaction that's happening in the company. So this is what this related party transaction is completely dealing with. So now we'll go into it. Your standard shall be applied in identifying the related party relationships and transaction. Who are the parties? What is a transaction between them that they recognize? Identifying outstanding balances, including commitments between entity and related parties. So, what are the outstanding balance on the day? On the outstanding balance, whom this outstanding is? What is the commitment between company and this person and this outstanding balance? Everything we should see. Identify circumstances in which disclosure of the items of A and B is required. And who are the related parties to the company, who and all getting what are the benefits from that, what is the outstanding balance for this a shareholder who is a related party who are transacted, everything should be disclosed in the notes to accounts. Determine the disclosure to be made about these items. Sir, where to disclose? So notes to accounts to be disclosed, sir. Not somewhere. Notes to accounts. You don't need to give separately. Rather, notes to accounts, a balance sheet will be there, P&L will be there, P&L notes will be there, balance sheet notes will be there, cash flow will be there. These all have notes to accounts, one thing other. Notes to accounts will have all these details. What is happening, how is company performing, everything's there. So when you read a listed company's notes to account, you can understand everything. Further, the standards also require disclosure of related party relationship, related party transactions, outstanding balances, including commitments in the consolidated separate financial statement of an parent and investor in with the joint control of significant influence over of its investee. The standard also applies to individual financial statement. So, what they are saying, sir? What and all to be disclosed? What is a relationship? What is a transaction? What is a outstanding balance? Not only that, what are the commitment? So I have going to give this. I have a patent in this. I have the company has made an order to me. and I pending it. I have got a loan from the company. I have given loan to the company. Everything should be disclosed. And the consolidated financial statement also, you should disclose it and separate financial statement. Their own financial statement also, statement of the partners and the parents and the investors, joint control, significant influence over. I have this much influence. I am the director. I have this much director. This director, I am controlling it. These all should be disclosed. Need to be disclosed, and the investee, the standard also applies to individual financial statements. So individual statement also this applies and consolidated also is applied. The intergroup related party transaction outstanding balance are eliminated. So intergroup balances, the current asset and current liability knock off, except those between the investment entity and subsidiaries measured at fair value through profit and loss in the preparation of consolidated financial statement of the group. So, but another this related by transaction that were outstanding assets and liability are eliminated. But it is a given exception where their investment entity, this kind of assets and liability should given clearly, and its subsidiaries what has been made, value should be determined exactly, and that should be given effect in the P&L account and profit and loss consolidation statement in the group. The related party disclosures are required to lay down in the standard do not apply in circumstances where providing such a disclosure would conflict with the reporting entity's duties of confidentiality or specifically required in terms of statute or by regulatory or similar competent authority. Sure, sometimes you don't want to disclose. When you don't want to disclose, the standard is asking you to disclose it. But if I disclose it, that will create a conflict of interest to the regulators. Okay, and there will be confidentiality will be given out. Example, the company is providing ammunition. Company is moving intelligence to National Intelligence Agency. Raw, these kind of powerful organization, these companies are preparing software, and that in their director is Indian director is also member in it. Such kind of very confidential data has been there. Such kind of thing we can't say it outside. We should save confidentiality. In the case of statute or regulatory or similar competent authority governing an entity, prohibiting entity to disclose certain information which is required to be disclosed as per the standard, disclosure of the information is not warranted. For example, banks are obligated by law to maintain confidentiality respect of the customer transaction, and its standard would not override the obligation to preserve the confidentiality of customer dealing. What I was saying, so at the banking law, if you say banking law, you are going, you are holding account, and you are a shareholder of that bank too. Okay. Now what happens? The bank is giving loan to you. You are making various transactions in that bank. The question is, as per the related party transaction, any significant transaction done by any of the party who is a related, who is a shareholder, and who provide a significant influence on the company, you need to disclose that. Right now, if I mention this customer has this account balance, total credit in his bank is this such. If I say this, what happens? It will break the confidentiality of RBI. RBI clearly states that no customer information should be leaked out. But if a company says so, as per the IND statement, they are required to disclose this information. Now, what will happen? This will create a violation of law. So they can't do it. So some law may prevent the disclosure of such confidential information. So we should follow that confidentiality. Related party is a person or entity that is related to an entity that is preparing its financial statement referred to the reporting entity. Who are related party? A related party can be a part, person, or entity. Means a person or a firm or a company or in one person company, everything is possible. If a person or a close person of a person's family is related to the reporting entity of the person, has a control or joint control of reporting entity. So I'm there, my father, my mother, my wife, my daughter, my son-in-law, daughter-in-law, they have the control over this company. But I'm a chartered accountant, but they are the holding major stars in the company. Significant influence, has a significant influence over the reporting entity. So they can control, they can make changes, they can influence the company. That is significant influence. Is a member of a key memorial management person of a reporting entity or the parent of a reporting entity. Sometimes they may be close to member. Sometimes they hold a key position in the company. Such a they also an insignificant entity. They are the right person. An entity is related to a reporting entity if one of the following applies. So entity is considered as an reporting related to reporting entity related to a reporting entity when entity and the reporting entities are the members of the same groups, which means each parent subsidiary, fellow subsidiary is related to others. In a chain of companies, this company is associate, subsidiary, holding company or related entities. This company's director being director of the other company, the related entities. This company shareholder has a holding in other company there he has most influence of a board, the influence of board and he controlling the board. Then it is an related entity, right? One entity is an associated and one entity a joint venture of another entity or associate or joint venture of the member or group in which other entity is a member. Sir, they are not holding anything, sir. But they both are joined together to do a task. When they are related, they have associated themselves in completing a project. When they are related entity, both entities are joint venture of the same third party. Sir, they are not together, sir. One third company is there. That company is hiring this A company and B company and doing this company. They both are not having any agreement, but the C company is controlling them. Then it's redundant. One entity is a joint venture of a third party, other entity, and another entity is associated with the third entity. Oh, now you see, say C company is there, the A company is joint venture. They both are together, but C company holding 20% in B company. Now A and B are related entity because C is common there, na? So entity is an post-employment benefit plan for benefit the employees of either the reporting entity or the entity related to reporting entity. If the reporting entity itself is a plan, then sponsoring employees are also related to reporting entity. So, example, I having 200 employees. I know every year 30 employees going to retire. Okay. So for benefiting this plan, I have invested my money in one trust or one company. They are taking care of my provident fund of my employee. Now, whether this company and me are related, yes, because you have invested something that they going to help your employees. Of sponsoring such plan and sponsoring such employee also have a significant influence on you. So they are also related entity. Entity is controlling or jointly controlling by a person identified here. Sir, one person, sir. One person family is controlling my company and having 30-40% in another company. So whether they are, we both are related, yes, because through this person he may influence that company to take your company. So they are related party. The person identified as a significant influence over the entity or its member of the key managerial person of the entity. So this person is there. This person has as an entity a member, his relatives, his directors are here. He controls the directors. And this director and that are common directors. So what? So they are all identified, they are all related person. An entity or any member or group of this part provide key management personal services to reporting entity or the parent of the reporting entity. Director, common directors. Yeah, so they call common director, na? They have significant control, no? That's what we say. In the definition of the related party, associate include the subsidiaries of the associates Joint venture including subsidiaries of joint venture. Therefore, for example, associate subsidiary or the investor has a significant influence over the associate over related to other. Additional to compensating government and government related entity, what are the following standard? Related party transaction, close member of the family, key managerial person. These are the three things you should know. What is this related party transaction? It is a transfer of resources, transfer of services or obligation between reporting entity or the related party, regardless whether the price has changed. Yeah, some transactions happening between party A and party B. So there's obligation between both, and regardless of the price, whatever may be the price, he will only provide. Yeah, so the price high also he will only provide, price low also he will. By seeing the debtors list or seeing the supplier list, we can find this. Close member of the family, a family a person or those family members who are expected to influence or to influence by that the person they're dealing with the entities include. That is a person's child, a person's spouse, a domestic partner, a brother, sister, father, and mother. What my child, my wife, my domestic partner are my brother, my sister, my father and mother, if they are connected. So they are not dealing with me. I said I don't want to come and deal with me. Deal with my sister, my wife, deal with my husband, and deal with my mother. So transaction should be given, money should be given to her. So this is also a kind of related party. A children of the person's spouse or a domestic partner. So my child they give, yeah, they provide the person's spouse, my child. They give, that is also a dependence of a person or the person's spouse or domestic. Then that is also even worse. A key management person or those person having authority and responsibility for planning, directing, controlling the activities of the entity, directly and indirectly, including any directors, whether exclusively otherwise of the entity. So the key directors usually control the activities, though they can do directly or indirectly. So include any director, board of directors. So there may be two or three directors, one director, such a way. But they influence the company. Then that is a rated party. In the context of the standard, so which parent company is controlling this director, that director who can have seats in various companies. So these companies here influencing. So this is a related party to all these companies. When they have a transaction, when they have a transaction. The entity simply because they have a director or other matter of key manager person in common because of a member of key manager person of one entity has a significant influence over other entity. So always they have common director in both company and related party you should consider. There should be a significant influence and there should be a transaction. Two ventures simply because they share joint control of joint venture. So the standard not related parties, two person join together and do something. So not all the transaction should not be an related party transaction. You should see whether this transaction which leads to related party disclosure. And providers of the finance, trade unions, public utility departments, agency of government that does not control, jointly control, or significantly influence a reporting entity simply by the virtue of the normal dealings with the entity, even though they may affect the freedom of the action of the entity or practice it in the decision making progress. So they could see what is this. Sometimes they can get loan from a bank and they may have shareholders in the bank. You can't consider as a related party. Trade union, example, in the trade union, every company will sit together and they will discuss about the future, the GST, taxes, everything. But trade unions is for that purpose. But when I come to trade union, all the transaction with the members of the trade union can't be considered as related party because I'm a member in a trade union. In public utilities, I may be in a clubs or maybe going to some temple. I'm also a member in the church, and he's also a member in the church. So it can be considered departments. Example, my wife and his wife are working in the same company. Okay. And we both do some business. So it's a joint venture. You can't consider so. and government has not control, agency of the government is not control, or sometimes jointly control, significantly influence reporting in a team. They may think so in outside, but they are participating. They are not participating to make any decisions. They just meet. So you see the difference how actually there is a related party. There are not. After considering, then only to consider as a related party. Customer, supplier, franchisor, distributor of general agent with whom the entity transacts in a significant volume of business simply by virtue of resulting economic dependence. You can consider. I have the same customer, the same time, no, another person was same customer. Example, engineering construction contract. I am a steel industry. My friend is in brick industry. A buying person is buying bulk amount of steel and bricks from both of us. We have a common customer, so it doesn't mean that we are related party. Okay, so you should see what is it. Example, in the case of supplier of material, or one person is one person who is supplying material to everyone. So when he supplies to us, it doesn't mean that we are related party. Okay, and he is controlling us also. You can see that. You should see what is the related party and what is a distributor, how's dental agent, who actually affecting us or not, you should firstly significantly find out. And what is the volume of business, what is the price deals with everything you should take into consideration. The disclosures of all entity, what is to be disclosed by all entity. The relationship between the parent and subsidiary shall be disclosed irrespective of whether they have a transaction between them. So the parent and subsidiaries you should disclose. Even though the transactions are there or not, you should disclose. So this is the company. I'm holding this much percentage in this company, this much percent in this company, A, B, C, D companies, you should say. And these are the companies have directors, common directors, you should disclose. And it really should disclose the name of the parent and its different ultimate controlling party. If different, the ultimate controlling party, who is controlling, name of the company, you should say. If not, are not ready to disclose the company name, you can say this shareholder is holding that company, this company you should mention. If neither the entity parent nor the ultimate controlling party produces consolidated financial statement available for public use, the name and the next most senior parent that doesn't so shall also be disclosed. If they should provide a consolidated financial statement that should be available for public use. If they are not doing so, then the senior partner, senior parent does so should make it available. So they should give one consolidated financial statement. Unless the entity obtains key management personnel services from another entity, it shall disclose the key management personnel compensation in total and such are the following categories: short-term employee benefits, post-employment benefits, other long-term benefits, termination benefits, share-based benefits. So these are the what are the benefits given to key manager person, the compensation, what is the thing, everything they should give publicly. If the entity has a related party transaction during the period covered by the financial statement, it shall disclose the nature of the related party relationship as well as information about the transaction and outstanding balances. So you should say what is the transaction, what is the outstanding balance, they should disclose, including commitments necessary for the user to understand the potential effect of the relationship on the financial statement. So on the financial statement, they should say what is the commitment, what is he going to fulfill. That is also be disclosed. At the minimum disclosure also includes amount of transaction, what is the total amount of transaction in the financial year, need to mention the amount of outstanding balances including commitment, what is the outstanding balance, the terms and condition includes whether they are secure and the nature of consideration to be provided settlement, the details of guarantees given and received, the provision of the doubtful debts related to the amount of outstanding balance also should be mentioned. The expenses recognized during the period in respect of the bad and doubtful debt due to related party. So what is a doubtful debt? What is outstanding? Everything should, and if they clear of any bad debt, they should see what is the bad debt that being clear, what is outstanding, how long outstanding is there in the book, everything should be there. The above transaction should be also made separately in each of the following category. What? Parent entity, all this. Entities with joint control, significant influence over the entity, they should disclose. Subsidiaries, associate companies, joint venture in which entities joint venturer, and key manager personnel of the entity and its parent and other related parties. So every heading should say what else should be said. So what is the total amount there? What is the bad debts has been cleared up? What is a transaction? What is a provision has been made? What is a guarantee given? What is settlement there? Everything doubtful debts cleared in the previous year. These all the details for each and every this A B C D E F G H to be given. Amount incurred by the entity for the provision of key management personnel services that are provided by separate management entity shall be disclosed. Separately, they should disclose. The item of a similar nature may be disclosed. What is similar nature? They should disclose in aggregate, except when separate disclosure necessary for understanding the facts of related party transaction and financial statement in the entity. So they should disclose what is the necessary disclosure they should give, and they should see what is a how this affect the companies and what are the transactions that are going to affect that is not going to affect on the balance sheet item they should disclose. Disclosure for government related entity, how they need to disclose. The government related entity is exempt from disclosure like a requirement for related party transactions, outstanding balances including commitment with. Government has a control on joint control or significant influence over the reporting entity. Another entity that is a related party because of the same government has a control or joint control of significant influence over by the reporting entity and other entity. Government are exempted from disclosing this. Why? If they disclose this, sensitive information may come out, and that is so confidential they can't disclose. So they don't need to disclose. They have given exemption. If the reported entity applies above exemption, you should disclose the following about the transaction related outstanding balance when the name of the government and the nature of the relationship with the reporting entity. Their control, joint control, significant influence. They should mention. They don't need to mention the transaction, but they should mention what is the name of the government they have a relationship, what entity they are controlling. The following information is significant details to enable the user of entity's financial statement to understand the effect of a related party transaction on the financial statement, like nature and amount of individually significant transaction. And for other transaction that is collectively but not individually significant and qualitatively indicates the content. They are not required to completely disclose everything, but some part of information is required to be disclosed. So this is what everything we said in this standard. Thank you.